call. It's a little complicated. All tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Have to have somewhere. Shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision. Always had a Mama said, so good variety is stranger possessed. You never wanna be the wind, the novelties. Don't let them change, we wanted everything. Wanted everything. Stay up on that rise, stay up on that rise. Never come down. All right, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing this Thursday morning? Hope you're having a great day so far, getting everything going. And as always, and as we mentioned to you over the last couple of days, this is a new segment that we're bringing to you every day at 8:15, 15 minutes to mastery. It's going to be a live call that we do just to get you a little bit of information on some tidbits that have to do with the manufactured home industry, whether it's on the sales side, whether it's on the finance side, maybe even new product that's coming out. We'll put some information out here for you to keep you informed. We want to be that source of information for you guys day in and day out here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. And another part of it, obviously, is going to be this little bit of inspiration in the morning, getting you going, getting your head going. I remember that when I was a general manager, every morning I'd send out a text message to the team with a little quote, little information, something to just get our heads focused in on what we were about to do for the rest of the day today. So today we're starting out with this quote here, guys, that I've got for you from Gary Vaynerchuk. Says, it's a saying hello doesn't have an ROI. It's about building relationships. Saying hello doesn't have an ROI. It's about being relationship. It's about building relationships. So what exactly is Gary Vaynerchuk talking about here? Well, Gary is referring to just the fact that we meet somebody is not enough. When we know that sales is about building relationships, establishing relationships, right? We talk about it all the time. I'm sure you folks talk about it in your offices and are always stressing the importance of building the relationship with the client. That's the only way that you're going to end up getting the business, earning the opportunity to ask for the business, is building relationships. But what exactly does building relationships mean? Because every sales office, well, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of sales offices are different in their own way, right? So what is it like at your office when you have that customer that walks in the door? What is it like when whether it's somebody that you brought in on an appointment or if it's a walk-in, what is that whole experience like? Far too many times I see where a housing consultant will greet a customer and simply come on in. We've talked about it over the last few days. We've been talking about closing deals and the fact that you meet a customer, they come in the door, you bring them in, you ask them just a few little questions, and then you're on to going and showing houses because you think that's really what it's about. Well, here's the situation. Here's what goes on there, okay? You haven't given yourself the time to build the relationship. You haven't given yourself the time to earn that trust. Now, this is a matter of perspective because we all know this. Everyone in sales understands that building the relationship is the most important part. But for some reason, we decide to skip it. For some reason, we decide that we're going to rush through. We're not going to ask the questions that need to be asked. We're not going to take our time up front to be able to get to know the customer, even before we dive into business. I get into some situations where I'm training different people, and that's one of the first things that we'll get into once we start into sales training is, okay, run me through what the scenario is like if I walked in the door to your location. What is it like if I came into your location to try and buy a home? And it more often than not, they're always introducing themselves. They're asking me my name, and they're asking me what brings me in. That's pretty much how it goes. What's your name? What brings you in?
right? So when you do that, think about this. When you do that, you're jumping right into the business of it. And of course, most of these customers they want to buy a house. They're not coming in, especially during the week. They're not coming in just to kick tires, right? So to speak. They're coming in because they truly have a need. But the fact that it's a home, right? We talk about it all the time where this is the most important purchase or the largest purchase that most people are going to make until they buy their next home. Well, check this out. Because of that, most of these people are nervous. Most of these people are already, they've got their guard up, right? We know this. And so if they walk in the door and you jump right into sales, right into business, well, you haven't given them the opportunity to even just ease up a little bit. So their guard is up through the whole time that you're with them. And then you're wondering why you're left standing there at the end of the 15, 30 minutes that you spend with them and asking them if they want to buy the home that you showed them, right? Because they told you they liked it. And we're scratching our head and wondering, well, what happened? Don't you like the house? We didn't build the relationship. We didn't give them the opportunity to really settle into what they were about to experience. Buying a home takes time. You know that. We know that they're not going to walk in and drive out with it right then and there. So why would you rush through the beginning? I'll tell you why it's done. The reason why most of us, when we're on the sales floor, because I've done it myself as well over the years, is we rush through it because we've been burned already before. Maybe that day we already had two other customers that just couldn't buy, didn't have whatever, or maybe it's been that kind of week, it's been that kind of month, who knows? And so you're skipping the steps and you're deciding to go ahead and just rush through the whole process. And when you rush through that whole sales process, you end up selling yourself short. And I had this conversation with one of my clients here just a couple of days ago when we were discussing the whole driving traffic, bringing in his own traffic, and what it's like when they show up and the reasons why we want to slow down. And here's the thing. We think we need to rush through it because we want to make sure that we don't miss anybody. We don't miss an opportunity. We get to make the phone calls that we need to make. And everything that runs through your head, whatever it is you're telling yourself, that's what's happening at that point in time, right? Well, the other side of that is this. How many people do you actually get to walk in the door every week? And for the most part, I've always stressed as a general manager, I always stress to my team, you need to have at least 5 people come and see you each and every week. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you had 5 people that came in to see you. And out of those 5, really only 2 can buy. That means 3 of them can't, right? Or won't. And if you spent an hour a day, all right, or an hour per person, that's 3 hours out of your week that you spent with those people that couldn't buy. You spend anywhere between 8 to 10 hours a day at the office. 40 to 60 hours, if you're in sales, is usually about what it comes out to, right? And sometimes for most of us, probably closer to the 60. Okay. So what happens here is this: 3 hours out of your week, but then if you did the same thing to those other 2, and let's say you went through the whole process, or you did everything and showed them houses and got everything done within the hour, and they didn't end up buying, that's 5 hours out of your week. You rushed through 2 buyers that probably ended up buying somewhere else because when they left your place, they went down the street, pulled into another place where the salesperson there, the sales consultant, actually took their time to get to know them, build a relationship, find out why they were trying to buy, what is it they're looking for, get into the specifics, really just get that person to slow down. And because of that, you missed out on 2 sales because you were rushing to get back onto the phones or whatever it is that you were telling yourself in your head as to why you did not need to invest that time with that person. 5 hours out of 40 to 60, 35 to 55 hours of your week okay, that you still had left, and you missed out on 2 sales because you rushed through them the way you rushed through them all. Now let's look at the other side of this, right? Let's say you actually took the time to sit with the person and get to know them, and you invested an hour, 45 minutes to an hour up front before even going to look at homes. That means that you brought them in, you sat them down, you got to just chat with them for a while before you dove into business. And in that time where you're in business, finding out what they were looking for, you took 30, 35 minutes, right? 40 minutes maybe, but asked all the real important questions, from everything from who's going to live in the house to what they need in the house, where they're going to place it, where they work, what are they expecting for monthly payments, all of the things you need to know. Let's say you took and invested that time up front. And at the end of that hour, you realize this person can't buy, that person can't buy, that person can't buy. There's those 3 you got out of the way. But because you took the time up front with that 35 to 40 minutes of just talking to them and getting to know them, you found out that those other 2 could buy, and you actually spent an extra hour, 2 hours. You ended up spending 3 hours, 4 hours with each of the other 2. That's 8 hours plus the 3 of the other people, the other ones that couldn't buy, 11 hours out of your day. That still leaves you 29 to 49 hours a week to make phone calls and to try and take other people. There's so much time if you just slow down and build those relationships. So remember, just saying hi, as Gary Vaynerchuk said in that quote that we showed earlier, right? I'll show it to you once again. Saying hello doesn't have an ROI. It's about building relationships. So slow down, take that time, build that relationship. Do it each and every time with each and every customer, whether you're bringing them in, if it's one of your appointments, or whether it's a walk-in. Take your time, okay? And see what happens with your business. So that's today's info, man. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. I hope that this becomes something that really we get more and more participation in. We're streaming it live through all our different platforms. I'm trying to include Instagram in there. I haven't been able to figure out yet how I can do that rather than just going live with my phone, and I probably end up doing that. But anyways, I want to remind you tomorrow, though, as we have down at the bottom here of the screen, tomorrow we've got that free webinar for you at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is our Close Your School. It's a section within the Manufactured Home Sales Mastery online platform where we dive into closing a sale, overcoming objections, how to ask for the business. We're going to really dive into that. This webinar tomorrow, probably at the max, is going to be 60 minutes. I don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time, especially going into the weekend, but get into that link right there. It's also in the comments, folks. I'll put it in there, but you can sign up for the webinar so that you can be a part of it. Join us. We'd love to have you. Another big announcement that we just let out of the bag yesterday was now we have access to financing for you for our training programs, right? We've got that immersion sales training program that right now is running $400 to $500 for the week, and other programs along with it that now you can get into for yourself, not having to wait for anybody. You can decide to take control of your life, your business, your career, and at the same time be able to get it for a very low monthly cost. Now you don't have to pay the whole thing up front, and there's no down payments with this financing. Let me show you really quick what I'm talking about, okay? And it is this right here, folks. So FlexBuy is now providing financing for our clients, okay? You can do this on your own. You can get the dollar amount you need. Heck, you can even include in there for your airfare if you're not in San Antonio and want to fly in for one of our classes. It's very simple to apply, okay? And you get almost immediate response on that, okay? Check that out. Also, check your rate without affecting your credit score, okay? It's awesome, folks. You can get into a class now, maybe $99 on the average, probably, or a little lower, a little higher, depending on the term that you want to go with on the financing. But we have that available to you now here. And we hope you take advantage of it as well so that you can then, I don't know if it shared it. There we go. That is what I'm talking about right in there. Okay. FlexBuy is doing financing. We've got that in place. You guys be sure to register for our Closure School tomorrow, the Closure School webinar. It's a free webinar we're doing. We're going to spend time digging into being able to overcome objections, what the questions to ask to be able to close the deal in the house, all to help you out gain more business, especially in this market where we're being affected with the rates. And I know everybody's been affected slowing down with business. We are here to help you, man. And it's a free resource that we want to provide to you guys. Get signed up, go to the comments, or right there on the screen, you'll see the website where you can register for the webinar. And we hope to see you tomorrow. Enjoy your Thursday. Have a great Thursday. Go out there, kick some butt, man. Take some deals, sell some houses, but more importantly, help some families. You guys have a great Thursday. Take care. I can't wait to meet you.